So about a month or two ago, now I think it's more about 2 months ago, I went to a drag event. So it was daytime slash nightish time, you guys. If you are a subscriber to this channel, you can actually just, if you haven't watched it, it's literally just a few videos back. We went to go drag race the A4B8. The car did surprisingly good. We won nearly every race except the one race I actually just slept on the line. But anyway, the car was doing so great. And I think at the end of the video, I mentioned to you guys that I've done something to the car, but I'm gonna mention it in another video. And we're gonna talk about it in this video. So I did the massive leap and we actually did Gearbox software, also known as DSG software. So you get, just as in the car's engine, you get stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, as well as with the Gearbox software. So how the Gearbox software, the TCU, a lot of people also knows it as TCU software. So it also works like in stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. And technically speaking, is just parameters that's being moved that makes it a different stage. Like if you go from a certain parameter, like let's say your RPMs stock standard is 6,000 RPMs. So if you go from 6,000 RPMs to 6,500 RPMs, it might be considered as stage 1, and from 6,500 to 7,000, stage 2, and stage 3, it might still be 7,000 RPMs, but they might change different parameters, such as your torque, your force, your clamping forces, and all of those kind of things. So I went and I got myself a stage 3, sorry guys, this road is so bad. I got myself a stage 3 custom DSG tune. So they changed so many things and I would love to share it with you guys. This is not going to be a video where we're going to do any test, data logging or whatsoever. I'm going to be speaking to you guys this entire video. So let's quickly talk about the launch. So they gave me a 3-step launch. Okay, so how it actually works is that if I push my foot in, I'm pretty sure everyone is aware that if you let go the throttle, your throttle position sensor, the accelerator sensor, will be at 0%, and when you step it down all the way, it's going to read as 100%. So they worked the 3-step launch into that 100% zone. So such as from 0 to, let's say, 30%. Sorry, just making sure it's clean. So from 0 to about 30%, I will launch at, let's say, 2,000 RPMs for like rainy days or wet days. From, let's say, 30% to 70%, how it will actually work is that the RPMs will increase to 4,000 RPMs. And then from 80% or 70 to 100, 80 to 100, whatever it is, it will be at 5,000 RPMs. That means when I floor down the accelerator all the way, we will launch at 100%. So I was really trying to find a tuning company that could have done something like this for me, because I don't want to go back to a tuning company the entire time or reload software constantly and repeatedly just to launch at different rates. So this is just so much user friendly, where I can just sit in my car, I can just press my pedal down as far as I want to, and I can launch at where I want to. So that's really, really cool. This car launches like a monster now. I've actually got like a full list on my phone. So I talked about the launch increase, I talked about having different launch RPMs. So now also the next thing we're going to talk about is that whenever we actually launch the car, so if you have got a B8 or a Golf or whatever, A3 or any DSG car, and whenever you like holding brake to launch your car, your RPMs will actually increase. But when you want to pull away and you let go your foot from the actual brake, your car will still sit for a while, for let's say a half a second, and it will launch. So now they have actually changed it. So now as soon as I let go of the brake, the response for actually shooting through and launching the car is close to being almost instant. This is going to help us out so much to like make sure that we launch at those better times. See, they're doing some road works over here. So yeah, so it's just going to help us that as soon as we're in a drag race, we don't have to actually let go the throttle much earlier than when the light goes green. So we've got a little bit of a closer launch time. So yeah, let's quickly go to the next point. So for the next thing, they worked on the gear shifts. So if you have got a B8, you would know that this car shifts like a grandmother. Like, this car doesn't like shifting quick almost at all. So they've altered it. So now the car shifts much quicker. And also what they did was they increased the clamping force. So what it technically is that whenever your gearbox is actually, let me just put on some aircon here. So when the gearbox is actually, just turning the speed down. So when the car is like, let's say the engine is boosting up, it's turning, it's ready to launch. So whenever you let go of your brake and your gearbox actually has to grab your flywheel, that over there is what's called clamping force, because it has to grab the flywheel. And obviously if you have got a stronger engine but you don't increase the clamping force on the gearbox, your clutch will actually slip. So then also what they have done was they went over to the clutch, the clutch settings, they altered the slip so that it first reads if there is any slippages, and then it alters, it grabs, and it increases as it needs to, which is freaking darn awesome. So I do hope it makes sense so far. They increase the shift speeds, they increase the clamping force, as well as the sensor. So also, what these gearboxes does is that as soon as they notice a certain amount of torque coming from your engine, that's correct, it can read torque. What it will do is, let's say for example your gearbox torque limiter is 400, but your car's torque is actually 450, your gearbox will actually slow down or just take 400 newton meters of torque from your engine. So you'll actually lose torque. So they also altered the torque so that the car can go up to 700 newton meters of torque. So this car is far away from 700 newton meters. I know it as a fact. But it's still a good thing to have it higher, because I know that in the future I will actually be doing a few things to the to the car, so which means I'm gonna have to have a higher torque limit. So it's gonna be a bonus that has been set to 700 newton meters now. Another thing I hate about the DSG is that, look, it's probably for safety reasons, that when you're in manual mode, the car shifts still like it was an automatic mode. So having your car in drive, manual mode or sports mode is exactly nearly the same thing. Well, that's how it felt to me. So now the gearbox has been altered that manual mode is fully manual mode, like an actual manual car. So if I keep it for, let's say an example, in third gear and I floor it, it goes all the way up till it hits the RPM limiter of your vehicle, which also in some cases is dangerous, but it's just good to have that feeling that it is properly manual now. So let's say for example, one day you want to actually install like a high rev kit in your car. It's going to make it so much easier than actually going back to the DSG software and altering the DSG software again, so you can actually get your RPMs higher in manual mode. Also, something I really like about the new software I got is that whenever I let go of the throttle, so let's say I'm cruising and I let go of the throttle and it's in the parameter of being changed already, it will change it automatically by just letting go of throttle. So that is freaking cool. Trust me, I thought at first that it's going to be a bit of a risk concern or something like that that's trying to shift, but it's really cool. I really actually noticed that it's a bit more a bit more economy wise, for fuel economy wise. Where's my wording? So it actually helps out so much. It's something I didn't thought I would have enjoyed, but I enjoy it so darn much. The biggest concern for me about the DSG software I had on was that, and you guys know it, literally in every data logging video I mentioned it, the thing that I hated about it was the fact that the car used to shift at 6,000 RPMs. Oh, that's a bad bump. So when I had my B8 1.8 turbo manual, the car used to go to 7,000 RPMs. So now I've got the DSG, the S-Tronic, and it shifts automatically at 6,000 RPMs. That was one of the most freaking, I hated it. So they've altered it so that my car can shift at 7,000 RPMs now. So in a couple of videos, I've manually actually shifted the car in 6,000 RPMs because I don't want to tell you guys or spoil, and so that you guys can actually see that I might have done DSG software. So I spoiled it a little bit by just shifting at 6,000 RPMs. But yes, the car can shift at 7,000 RPMs now in drive mode or in sports mode. That is such a relief. It is so much better to just drive this car now, because this car actually has got like a very short first gear. So whenever you pull away, it's like you pull away and a car wants to shift now. You pull away and a car wants to shift now, which was just so darn annoying. As far as I'm aware, and what I've been told, that whenever you drive your car in manual mode, that is when your car shifts the fastest. So the sports mode has also been altered to shift just as fast as the manual mode, which is pretty cool. So I did talk to the tuner, and I did ask him that how is it that you can tune the speeds of the gearbox? Can you just like increase it, or well, actually decrease the shifting time period for the gearbox as you wish? And he told me that you can't actually just do it like that. You can physically set it, but the problem is that if you make the shift too short, remember that when your car shifts gears, it actually, like same as a manual car, your clutch has to let go of the flywheel. It's got to go into a new gear and go back. So what's going to happen is that if you're actually going to make your shifting speeds too quick, your car will actually let go, because remember, your clutch release and your clutch grab again, that clamping force that I was talking about just earlier, that is a time duration that is set. So if they set it too quick, your gearbox might not have enough time to actually go into the next gear. So, which is actually pretty interesting. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it like that, that your car needs a certain amount of time to go from second to third or third to fourth, in the same time duration that your clutch needs to let go and grab, let go and grab. So we are actually getting into the final stages of the DSG software. So I actually took a lot of time spending with the tuner. Yeah, I actually went to his shop and he actually pulled my DSG file tune. Well, he didn't pull the entire file. He just technically got like a copy, a blueprint of it. And so you can actually tune it and then you can come back and just upload it. So I spent about 2 to 3 days just literally talking to him, trying to work things out, see what he can do, what he can offer, what he can change for me. And this is all the things that we have literally been talking about. So that is great thing. That's why I love doing custom tuning, or while working with the tuners that I did. So let's quickly go to the last few things. So the thing about this car is that whenever your gearbox temperature is not up to temperature, same as the engine, if you're just gonna climb in your car and you're just gonna floor the living heck out of your car, you're actually gonna damage your engine. Same as with the gearbox. When you're gonna launch your car, remember when it comes to gearboxes, having the most power put down, or that instant movement of that launch and stuff, that's gonna cause the most damage to your gearbox. So he actually said that I've got like, wow, this road is bad. So we actually set it up for me that if my gearbox is not till a certain temperature, it will not launch, which is a safety parameter. So I just told the guy that it kind of sucks, because whenever I'm, let's say, at a drag race or a drag track or whatever, I want to launch but my car is not hot yet, or my drivetrain is not hot yet, that it actually kind of sucks, because now the car won't launch. But it's a safety parameter, rather not launch or not launch properly or whatever at that case, then I have to suffer a broken gearbox in that case, which is going to cost thousands and thousands. You guys know about it. And then also, he also adjusted it that if the gearbox is too hot, then the car also won't launch. And then also, as a safety parameter, it will switch back. It won't switch everything back to like stock, where it shifted at 6,000 RPMs and all that stuff, but it will reduce the torque limiter. It will reduce all of that things, just to avoid more damage in the future. So obviously, we got to remember that the DL501 gearbox, which this car has, it doesn't have a gearbox cooler, or well, the specific one that I have. So if it had a cooler with a thermostat, it would have been so easy to actually handle, to be in those ranges and stuff, but unfortunately it doesn't. So there we go, guys. That's a quick briefing. I think that's literally all I've written down on my list. There might be a few more things that I've forgotten among the time, because I literally did it about 2 months ago, a month and a half, 2 months ago, give or take. So I've already forgotten a few of the things, but I'm telling you guys, I love it. When I put my foot down, when a car goes for it, like the quick down, the shifts quick down is quicker, the shifts are quicker, man, it's so good to actually like floor it. 6,000 RPMs, 7,000 RPMs, oh, and it keeps going. I'm telling you guys that even now, you believe it or not, just because I can shift 1,000 RPMs later, you can literally notice it. I'm not even kidding you guys. Like, when the next gear kicks in, you can feel it's got a little bit more power to it. The launches in this car is feeling amazing. I'll drop a clip for you guys when I raced my wife's ST. She was driving it. She was a bit soft on a pull away, but this car pulls away and it does spin a little bit. That's the best thing. I'm doing a little all-wheel drive spin. Man, I'm loving it. I'm so happy that I did this DSG software. I was a bit skeptic about it because I was unsure of all the stuff that's going on, and when you hear people talking about stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, but I had a great tuner tuning the car. It's a South African based tuner. He studied tuning everything by himself. He's extremely good. He's very helpful and everything like that. He's literally doing the tuning himself. Like, he was sitting in my car because the rev limiter on this car is 7,100 RPM. Sorry, I'm just talking out of perspective now. So for the engine safety parameter, the rev limiter is at 7,100 RPMs. So we even try to like push up the 7,000 RPMs to about 7,050 RPMs, but I told him it wasn't really necessary. But you see, your car actually has to shift before it hits the limiter, because otherwise the only thing that's going to happen is that your car is going to hit the limiter and it still hasn't shifted or reached a point where it has to shift. So it's kind of cool to learn all of these behind the scene things of going on and just actually uploading a file and trying to like figure out what has been changed and all of that. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know what you think about the DSG tune. I'm super happy about it. I would really recommend getting a custom stage 3 tune. So the gearbox is still 100% standard. Nothing has been done to it, and yes, it's possible to have stage 3 on it. Once again, it's just parameters that has been changed. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know in the comments if you have got any TCU softwares or whatever, like any upgrade stages and stuff. I'd like to hear what has been different on yours, because I can always go back to my tuner and change a few things up. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to see any similar video, hit any icon on the screen. If you'd love to support the channel, especially if you're new, hit the logo at the bottom right corner to subscribe, and I'll see all of you legends in my next video. But for now, peace out everyone.